I just, yeah, well, I just wanted to kind of frame the conversation too of the main benefits. So, and then we'll get into your quick demo. But
Cool.
when everyone talks about, hardware wallets, they always like kind of just almost feel like they yell it at you, like, do the hardware wallet. And you're like, oh, that sounds secure. It's a hardware. It's like, what is it, like, stores my seed securely or something, right? Like, it's one of those things, like, you really need to understand what you're even using it for. Or you won't really be into using it, right? Like, why doesn't everyone have a hardware wallet when it's clearly a superior solution than just using MetaMask? Well, they cost money. It costs effort. You have to set it up. You have to learn this stuff. Why would you do any of that if you don't know how it actually protects you, if you have suspicions of it? If you watch videos online of how when they get stolen, people can dump seed words from them. There's plenty of vulnerabilities in hardware wallets too. They're not perfect. However, they give you a big edge. So just want to mention a couple benefits, just some people that can understand why they're important, why you should use them, all that. So the two main benefits, and I'm sure there's more and other nuance as well, but the two main things you can take away from having a hardware wallet that you don't get with just having MetaMask is they generate your seed words offline off your computer, so they can't just be stolen if your computer gets hacked. So, usually MetaMask, whatever you use to generate your seed words, your private key, your access to your wallet, it's usually on your computer. If there's a Trojan on your computer, malware, otherwise, or if any point it gets compromised and they get access to it, seed words gone. So when you set up a hardware wallet, you generate the seed words and then you usually write them down in like a cold storage type solution and don't put them on your computer. And that keeps it from keyloggers and all the different malware that can happen. So seed words security is one. And then the other one is it's basically like 2FA on your wallet. So it makes transactions require some sort of physical touch connection, button pushing, maybe a pin to go along with it as well. You can enable pin on these devices. And so even if someone does put malware on your computer and they try to do transactions, if they don't physically have access to your device and they can't press that button and they don't know that pin, then the transaction is not going to go through either. So basically 2FA for your device and prevents your seed words from getting compromised if you have someone snooping on your computer already. The two main benefits, but we'll get into the different nuances later. Just want to set the stage for anyone. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. Ben's going to get into the demo now.
Yes, well said. So, yeah, like RHMax was saying, with the MetaMask, they show your seed phrase on your computer screen, which right away is not the best because you could have malware. Some guy could be watching your screen. Who knows? Hopefully, even though it's shown on your computer screen, it's not safe you write it down on a piece of paper. But even then, your seed phrase is still stored within MetaMask. And also, your MetaMask seed phrase is 12 words, while your hardware wallet seed phrase is 24 words. So there's a lot of ways that if you're just using MetaMask, you're kind of setting yourself up to get screwed. And I've had one friend really who didn't get a hardware wallet, wrote down his MetaMask seed phrase, and he thought, oh, I'm doing everything correct because I wrote it down on a piece of paper. No one could have possibly seen it. Then one day his money was just gone. He doesn't really have any idea how. But so I'm going to just get into it and show you. Go ahead and share my screen.
Shout out to Gold Key, one of the best devs in the ecosystem. Maximus DAO for the win.
All right. So you can see this. This is a MetaMask account. So I made this account. They showed me my seed phrase on the screen. This is a MetaMask. I'll open it up here because this is how most people interact with it. But if you go to here and you go to settings and then you go to security and privacy.
Can't see your browser on this one. Just see the desktop.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, you may need to share your actual browser if you're going to show that.
Okay, hold on.
I know it's confusing on StreamYard sometimes.
There we go. All right, now you can see it, correct?
Yes.
All right. Phew. Okay, so you can see the MetaMask pop up here, the tiny one. Or not?
Yeah, we can see it pop up.
Okay. So you have a MetaMask and you wrote down the seed phrase and you think you're safe, even though it flashed on your computer screen, but you're like, oh, I don't have any malware on my computer, so I think I'm good. But if you go to the settings and then here, there's this giant red button that says reveal secret recovery phrase. And so this is a wallet. I don't care. Like, I'm going to show you guys this. The password is RHMax tutorial, all caps. Of course, I'm breaking all the rules of what is okay to prove the point that the security phrase for this dummy wallet that has no money in it is literally just sitting in your browser. So if you have a lot of money in a MetaMask that isn't secure, you're at serious risk. And I want to just go ahead and say, if you have hex stakes on a MetaMask in their long term, you can't just switch those hex stakes to a new wallet unless they're maybe like Hedron, HSI.
HSIs.
Yeah. So we're not going to get too into that today, but I do have a video about that. Can you see this channel or this?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a video showing how to do that. But anyway, so I'm going to show you guys. I have a Ledger Nano S, the tiny one here. Can you see me as well as my screen, or you can only see my screen right now?
No, we can see both of you.
All right. So how do you add so let's say you bought a hardware wallet, okay? Setting up a hardware wallet's really easy. There's tutorials all over YouTube on how to set up a hardware wallet, like how to get it out of the package and set it up. But the instructions that come with it are actually really, really easy to follow and really well done. When I've helped people get into crypto, they never really have problems actually setting up a MetaMask account and setting up a hardware wallet. Now, don't just jump the gun and go buy a hardware wallet right now, because we're going to talk more about it later in the stream. Like, always buy it from the official website, ledger.com, trezor.io. Make sure you're downloading MetaMask at metamask.io. And of course, when you get your seed phrase from Ledger or Trezor from the device, you write it down. You don't take a picture or store it in a text message or, send it to your cousin or something to keep it safe. So, anyway, so I expect that this is the point where I think most people get tripped up is, okay, how do I add my ledger to MetaMask? So I've entered my PIN on the ledger. I have the Ethereum app downloaded. And I go and I select the Ethereum app on the ledger. It says application is ready. I then open in MetaMask here, the little circle. I click connect hardware wallet. Okay. But here's the key point is I have to have a MetaMask wallet first. Okay. So this is what trips people up. This is just a dummy wallet that's going to sit here. The only way I can connect a hardware wallet to MetaMask is if I first have a MetaMask wallet that is not safe. Okay. Like I just showed you. It's not safe. You go to security and you can look at your seed phrase, but you have to have that. Just don't put any crypto in it. Okay. So you'll kind of get a better feeling. So then, I choose my ledger and I've selected Ethereum on the hardware wallet. It says application is ready on the screen. I click ledger because it is a ledger. I click connect. All right. So now it's coming through to my ledger. Let's see here. All right. So I have this account that has a little bit of Ethereum in it. Okay. All right. So now you can see I've added my hardware wallet to MetaMask and I have account 1. And what I could do is I could go here and I could write something like dummy, don't use. So I know, this is the one that isn't safe, but I have to use MetaMask with the hardware wallet. And in this, you can name it, it automatically gets named Ledger 1, but you could name it something else as well. And then if you wanted to add a Trezor, you just do the same thing. You'd click connect hardware wallet and add your Trezor. But yeah, so now let's like another thing that trips people up is they don't know how to swap with the ledger. So anytime you do something with a hardware wallet, I'll show you right now. So we'll go to the testnet for fun. Okay. Oh, look, I have some test PLS here.
Dude, you got some PulseChain? Nice.
Yeah, I was thinking I would go here, but all right, let's see. We'll connect our ledger 1. We'll oh, did I already do this? What's going on here? Is that the wrong address? Let's see. No, it should be good. All right, well, whatever. We'll go to PulseX. I have a tiny bit of test PLS. So we're gonna make a big money swap here on the testnet for some PulseX. All right, and this is a problem that a lot of people have. So I'm gonna try and swap. All right, shows me the info. If you've swapped without using hardware wallet, this is all very familiar to you. It shows me my gas and whatever. I click confirm. Okay, that's how it's normally done without a hardware. Hey, what the heck? So what's going on here? And this is where a lot of people get tripped up. So this is a good little, telling you exactly what to do. So it says, please enable blind signing or contract data in the Ethereum app settings. All right, and this can be confusing because it's like, what is an Ethereum app setting? Is that in my computer? Is that in Metamask? Is that, where is that? So that is literally on your device, okay? And it even says on my ledger, blind signing must be enabled in settings. Okay, so on the page where it says application is ready on your ledger, you go to the right twice and it says settings. You click on that, and right here, you guys probably can't see that, but it says blind signing disabled. And all I do is I just double press the buttons, and then now it says blind signing enabled. I go to the right and I click back. It says application is ready. All right, and now I click swap, confirm swap, and I click confirm. And now this is, now I have something on my ledger saying review transaction. I go to the right. It says the amount, the address, blah, blah, blah. Not super important. You can just kind of go through to the end. It says accept and send. And wow, now the transaction is submitted. So now you kind of get a better understanding of what RHMax was talking about at the beginning of the stream, where he said it's like 2FA. It's like you can't just click approve in MetaMask. Oh yeah, approve. You have to have your hardware wallet plugged in. You have to enter the PIN and sign in. You select the Ethereum app. You make sure your blind signing is enabled, and then you approve it on the ledger itself. But just really quickly, a big mistake. So a big mistake is that people make. I'm going to remove MetaMask. Whatever. So let's go to. So first, let's just type in MetaMask on Google and see what happens. Okay, so sometimes there's ads that pop up, obviously, that are scammers will run ads for fake MetaMasks. But this time we didn't get that. But you see metamask.io. Click on that. We'll go to download. Download for Firefox. That's the browser I'm using. All right. So here's a mistake people make when they get a hardware wallet and they are trying to set it up with MetaMask. Oh, what's going on here? Maybe I didn't allow something. Okay, let's see. Okay. All right. Create a new wallet. They say, oh, I have this ledger that I just set up. That's an existing wallet. Let me import it to MetaMask. That makes sense. And then you go here and you say, yeah, I agree. And you go, oh, okay. Yeah, I just made a 24-word phrase with my hardware wallet. So this is how I add my hardware wallet. This is not what to do because, again, you never want to type in your seed phrase anywhere. because of keyloggers or malware on your computer. So again, you have to, if you don't have a MetaMask yet, you have to create a new wallet. Okay. You make a password for it, blah, blah, blah. And then you get the 12-word seed phrase for the MetaMask that kind of like I showed you before. And then it sits, like I showed you earlier, it sits at the front of the MetaMask as the dummy wallet. So how was that? Are there any questions? Was that very confusing, or was that helpful?
No, that's a great point. Yeah, it's funny how, I don't know why they do that. It's like, why can't you just have an empty MetaMask with no wallets so you can set up your hardware wallet so people don't get confused on how to do the dummy wallet thing? It's funny how it's like a workaround to actually make hardware wallets work. There should be a first-class citizen, as they say in the tech world, of MetaMask, but they quite aren't yet. And I just want to comment too on your 2FA. Yeah, like when people think 2FA, the only thing they usually know is, oh, that's a text message I get to log in, or that's the authenticator app I use, or whatever. But actually, 2FA, I mean, it could be anything. It could be, the general thing is something you know, something you own, something you have, something you are, that sort of thing. So something you have could be your hardware wallet. Something you know could be a password. That's two forms of authentication. MFA is the same thing as 2FA. It just means like could be two, could be three, could be more, multi-factor authentication. So there's different ways to do even three types of thing. Maybe it's a physical button you press. It's a password it's a code you get on your authenticator. You can do more than 2FA as well. So just want to say that 2FA is more than just SMS. Or, by the way, never use SMS. Not these days. Lots of attacks around that. You can read about on the internet. Authenticator apps, much more secure. I'll just say that. So no, man, thanks for the demo. That was awesome. Especially using PulseX to go through it too. Like that was
got
a nice touch.
Yeah,
you couldn't have did that.
Hardware wallet.
You couldn't have did that 24 hours ago. It just launched,
right?
Like not even 24. Yeah. And then let's see what I'll just say a couple things on hardware wallet before we get to the chat. Let's see, because I had a couple notes, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, I mentioned earlier, I dropped this in the chat too. If anyone tells you hardware wallets are super secure, unhackable, or whatever, they're not. And there's literally videos on the internet from professional security people who will surprise you on how easy they are to dump. So how do you protect yourself? Well, keep it safe. Don't act like, oh, I can just leave my hardware wallet. If it gets stolen, no big deal, blah, blah, blah. If your hardware wallet gets stolen, I'm not assuming that anyone out there has expertise the person who stole it probably doesn't have the expertise to do it. It's not a commoditized skill yet, but it may be in the future. It's kind of this, race between how expensive it is to do it, how much knowledge you need to do it versus the benefit and all that stuff. But you should still move your funds. You should still consider those seed words compromised if you do lose your hardware wallet, generally, unless it's just impossible to do that for some reason. So yeah, watch that video. It may open your eyes, but that's not a reason not to use hardware wallets. They clearly solve a problem. We went over the benefits, but they're not unhackable or anything like that. And the other part, somebody mentioned too about MetaMask stuff, and I'll go back to the comment in a minute, but I'll just say that there's one attack. You can look it up on Google too, ETH Clipper and Bitcoin Clipper. And these are basically attacks where it's sort of like a form of malware which replaces the address in your clipboard. So you think you copy and pasted one address, but it'll monitor your clipboard and it'll switch the address for the hacker's address. And then you paste it and you're like, oh, I've copy and pasted it fine, but it's not the right one. It's the other one. So how do hardware wallets help with that? They thought about this stuff, right? On the screen, they ask you to verify the numbers, the address, the last four, whatever it is. So always make sure when you do a transaction, in case you get clippered by some sort of malware, look at your hardware wallet, verify. Actually look at it, verify. Don't just click through it and just trust your clipboard. You can't trust your clipboard. That's learning from that. So
that's a good point. So when I was just swapping on Testnet, could that happen when you click the swap button because you're like sending it to the smart contract? Should you also verify then that you're sending it to the smart contract, or is clicking the swap button typically you're good to just click through? Because that's what I said when I did it. But
good question. No, so your clipboard is different than what you're talking to on Metamask. So you'd be talking to the contract on Metamask. However, the other part of that is you should verify on Etherscan or otherwise that you're talking to the right contract and you're not on a phishing page, you're not on something like that. So as long as the contract address is the one, the official one that you're looking at that you think you're using, and you can again compare this. I dropped my links to or cover all this stuff on my blog as well. There's a bunch of ways to visually see that. As long as you compare the address with the one Metamask is prompting you, they're the same. You can have confidence that you're interacting with the right smart contract. And then the clipboard part is when you copy and paste an address of the one you want to send it to, but the malware changes in the clipboard to the attacker's address. So when you paste it, it's the attacker's address, not the one you just copied, because they change it really quickly.